Have you ever heard this rule for spelling? I before E, except after C, and when it says A, like neighbor and way. If you've heard that rule, that'll help you spell a lot of words in English. However, there are some serious exceptions. I'm going to show you a funny video that goes over the many exceptions, or at least introduces you to them. And then we're going to dive into how to actually learn the exceptions. Here we go.
Spelling's tricky, take it from me. But luckily, we got I before E except after C. It's a spelling law. Yeah, it's really cool. But there's a couple of exceptions to that rule. Now listen, I before E except after C is neither efficient or omniscient in onomatopoeia. There's no agreeing in scene or protein either. I feel weight in my veins. I'm about to faint or have a seizure. What democracies would trust these conspiracies and lunacies and spread these fallacies and inconsistencies through literacies? Our over-caffeinated species needs to reinstall this dreidel spinning coding ridden rule it reinforces. Did Einstein the scientist start this heist? Was it weirder? Was it fire skip Poseidon while Stein by the weird? Or was it 8 atheist reindeer pulling sleighs just for leisure? Was it 2 geishas who were neighbours wearing leis for their aesthetic? Who conceived these beige policies I must invade? Was it a heinous deity, ancient heir, or chic sensei? Cause at its height in society it was seismic, but its reign is aging. We should forfeit and forget it like Alzheimer's. There you have it, kids. I before E, except after C. Nah, good luck.
Okay, so that's hilarious. Now let me show you how a lot of the words he just showed you make sense with the rule if you know just a little bit more. Okay, so I before E, except after C. And when it says A, like neighbor and way, which are both spelt with an E-I-G-H pattern. So let's just add that in. I before E, except after C. And when it says A, plus the A pattern, the E-I-G-H pattern. Now here are the words that were, just about all of these were the ones that they were listed. Affixes, prefixes and suffixes. And when it's from French. So let's look at that. So a lot of the words that you saw listed, democracies, conspiracies, lunacies, fallacies, policies, inconsistencies, literacies. If you look at the spelling here, notice that these are plurals, where the original word was democracy. And we changed the Y to I and added ES. Conspiracy, same thing. The Y was changed to I and then added ES. Same thing with lunacies. It was originally a Y for singular to make it plural. We changed the Y to I and added ES. So a lot of the exceptions come from making a noun plural. Here's another pattern. I mentioned that here, like neighbor and way. All of the E-I-G-H patterns. 8, wait, height, nay, and vey. And I have a hyperlink here that takes you to a place with a master list of many, many words that use these parts. Neighborhood, inveighing, heavyweight, etc. Okay, another exception, but that makes sense if you think about it, is if there's a suffix ing added to the end of the word. So if we have the word agree and then we add ing, well, it makes sense that it would break the normal pattern of I before E. Because that's how you spell ing. So when you add an affix to a word, you do not change the spelling. Okay, seeing, like if you're going to dye your hair, dyeing. We read an article about binge watching Netflix, so binge-ing. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, what about when we add prefixes like re or pre? Well, prefixes at the beginning of a word that begins with I, you're going to have EI. And they're going to have their own syllable. So it's going to say reinstall, reinforces. So again, this blue is a hyperlink that'll take you to a list of a whole bunch of re-words. Again, re means again, pre means before. So those are two prefixes to watch out for. If you have that prefix and the word starts with I, spell the prefix and then spell the word. Reinstall. Okay, now we have a suffix, another suffix. We have the suffix ing. So words that end with ent or ence, these are suffixes, will often have an IE pattern, even though they come right after a C. So we get words like this: efficient, efficient. And here the C makes a sh sound. Omniscient, omniscient. Again, the C here with the I is going to make a sh sound. And then here's a word we know very well: science, science. And then we have this one, ancient, again with that sh sound. So when you have a word that ends with ent or ence, obviously IE. Okay. And yeah, this is one of my favorite things to say. And I don't mean it literally, don't blame the French literally, but in history, if you care to look this up, this is a hyperlink that gives you a little information about it. 1066, the Normans, the French, invaded England, William the Conqueror. And with that invasion, the English language was forever changed. So we have many words that come from French, and when you get that they're from French, you understand why they just don't follow the rules. So, for example, the word caffeine, it's EI. But in French, the word caffeine comes from the word coffee, which in French is café. So it makes sense if you know that. Café, caffeine, coming from the coffee is what that word would mean. Leisure, from French, forfeit, seizure, deity. So there are just some words that you're just going to have to memorize. It helps to know that they come from another language, such as French. Now, I think I have, here's my I don't know why, the weird ones that have no reason, like the word weird. Now, I looked up the etymology of this word, weird, and it comes from a really old German word that means W-E-R, ver, which means to bend or twist. So I don't know how we got that word from that. So it's just weird, and it doesn't follow the rules. Either and neither do not follow the rules, but at least they're related and you can kind of remember them that way. And it would be really weird, I mean super weird, for the word to say I-E-T-H-E-R. Right? That doesn't even look like English. Does that look like English to you? No. Okay, then we have heist, which when I looked it up comes from a slang word from the 1920s or 30s, from the word hoist, which means to lift up. So heist is to steal. And then the word feisty, which says something about little dogs. So some of the words are just weird and you just have to memorize them. That's not that bad of a list though. So I before E, except after C. And when it says A, like neighbor and way, and oh yeah, that A pattern with E-I-G-H. And yeah, don't forget the affixes, like prefixes and suffixes. And oh yeah, blame the French. That's all. And good luck.